Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. In today's episode, for those that haven't been caught up with the Stalker saga, that whole situation. So, the other day, I posted a TikTok video where I was roasting him because I felt that it was needed. I feel like from time to time, you need to remind an adult that they are an adult. And I feel like that he's not reminded of that fact. He's just, I guess, caught up in this fantasy land of him still wanting to be a child. So, I posted this TikTok video where I was roasting him. And then the next day, what was I doing? I can't remember if I was eating or what I was doing exactly. I don't know if I can't remember if I was eating or if I was working on content, but I do remember I was sitting down. All of a sudden, my phone, it started blowing up. So he's rapidly going through any Instagram profile that he can find and was messaging me. I don't want to have a conversation with him. I thought I had made that clear enough, but that was the downfall of that at that particular moment. I hadn't streamed yet. So there is no way possible for me to avoid him. So I knew he was going to join the stream. I had a feeling that he was going to join the stream. And I'm like, all right, you know what? It can make good content. Let's just go ahead and see what happens. So anyways, I start streaming. He joins the stream, starts saying some old random stuff. That's one thing that I figured out about him from the first time we had a conversation and from the second time. And then just all the times when we went back and forth on Twitter. He can't form a sentence. He can't continue on with a conversation. That was the thing about when he joined the stream last night and what made it different from the other time when he joined and he was talking about himself. At least then he has something to talk about. This time around, he had to actually be himself. And being himself sucks. He can't form a sentence. He can't conversate. He can't do none of that. And that was the thing that was so confusing. It's like, you know this about yourself. I'm pretty sure I'm not the first person that you tried your communication skills on. I would imagine that you already knew about yourself. Why would you put yourself up to that? Why would you do that to yourself? Why would you embarrass yourself like that? And yeah, if I can explain it the best way that I possibly could. So he wanted to word it as a debate. There wasn't no debate. I guess when I sit down and I think of when I was in high school and I had the speech and debate class, if he was in that class, he would have failed. 100%, I'm willing to put my life savings on it. He would have failed that class. There is no way possible unless he, paid off the teacher. That would be it. But other than that, I'm like, no, there is no way possible he will be able to pass that class. But when we were talking, because I'm really trying my hardest to remember all the different things that he was saying. So when he very first joined the stream, I knew it was going to be a problem because he was going by his name. He was going by the Talonmation name. So anyways, he goes, by the way, I don't feel like I had addressed that's who I was talking about and stuff. But yeah, that's my Stalker, his content creating name. But anyway, so yeah, he joins the stream. And then I think I just had threw some insults at him. And then that's when he just randomly was all like, oh, I'm here. Because I think that might have been it. I was asking him, why is he here? Why are you a stalker and all this other stuff? And then that's when he was all I think he was trying to make it seem like he wasn't stalking, even though if you check his social media accounts, you'll see my name more than you'll see anything that he's put together. So anyways, then that's when he was all he was just pretty much copying what Just the Robot used to say, that he was giving me criticism. And that's the thing. You had the chance and opportunity to criticize my content. All you're just doing is talking about, oh, I'm never going to leave you alone. How is that criticism? How is telling somebody, hey, I'm just going to continue stalking you? How is that criticism? Their version of criticism, talking on Just the Robot and his fans, if we could just talk on that particular word real quick, because I feel like that they need a proper definition. So, but I feel like with me, I'm good at examples. So I think I'm going to define what criticism is in the form of an example. So imagine a movie comes out, right? one place that a lot of people go to, I guess, to see reviews and social media being one of them. But I feel like the main one is probably Rotten Tomato. Everybody wants to see what Rotten Tomato, at least what the rating is on the on said movie. So anyways, movie comes out. Nobody don't really know too much about it. Rotten Tomato, they give it a let's say they give it a 90. Let's say there's like, oh, it's the best movie of the year. That's their words on it, right? So the thing is this. There are going to be other people that are going to also watch this movie. So the point that I'm trying to make is that you can criticize my content all you want, actually make it meaningful, have it where it's like, okay, there's a reason to look at TMossBoss criticism. But if all you're doing is insulting me and talking about how you don't like my content or you can't agree with my arguments or whatever it is, it's like, fam, that's not criticizing my content. You're trying to have a discussion with me not being there. Like that's their version of criticism. And so, but like I was saying though, getting back to the example, and then let's say if Rotten Tomato, they do give the movie a bad rating. Let's say they give the movie a 20%. Still, it's the same exact thing. People are going to want to see this movie for themselves. So you can criticize my content all you want. That's not going to make a difference. That's not going to mean anything. It's your criticism. Everybody else is going to have their own version of criticism, I guess, when they come to my channel. So I guess that would be my question. That ain't even to, because I know that this Telemation guy, he can't properly answer the question. I guess for any and everybody else, why do you think your criticism matters so much? Because if that's the case, then I'm like, everybody's criticism should matter, right? I feel like that's a safe thing to say. My criticism towards video games should matter. My criticism towards music artists should matter. Movie actors and actresses, all of that stuff should matter. But eventually it is going to get to a point where I say something that a lot of people are not going to agree on. And then I feel like at that moment, that's when people are going to be saying the same exact thing that I've been saying. Your criticism does not matter. It never will. There is not one person on the internet. Oh, before I watch this TMossBoss video, let me go and see what the critics on social media. And that's the thing. It's like you guys aren't even like popular critics. So it's like, what is the reason of listening to your guys' criticism? I can understand if you guys are a channel where it's like, yeah, you're like the Rotten Tomato of YouTube. But I'm like, fam, my thing is this, right? Because I guess like I'm an old-fashioned content creator. I'm an old-fashioned YouTuber. When I very first got into YouTube, it was all about, it's kind of like that today, where it's like you see people just trying to go viral with clips, videos, stuff like that. What is there to criticize? Like, I mean, like, if it's somebody, if we're like, yeah, let's just, I guess like now switching this example over to YouTube. If somebody posts a video of themselves doing a laser flip, that's a skateboarding trick for those that don't know skateboarding. But yeah, let's say they post a video of themselves doing a laser flip, right? What is there to criticize about that video? They're doing a thing that probably a lot of skateboarders can't do. Fam, I can't even do a laser flip in video games at times. Like, it's rare when I've done it, but yeah, I'll never forget those days of playing like Skate. Skate, I think, yeah, was it 2 or 3? I think it might have been 3. It might have been 3. I just remember, the first time I did it in 3, and I was like, me and my friend, we were flipping out over it and stuff. But if it was on some stuff today, I'm like, yeah, no, I couldn't. I have a skateboard, but I'm like, I know I can't do no laser flip. So if I see a video, my thing is this. I guess with me, I appreciate what content creating is. I appreciate when somebody is passionate about content creating. I can appreciate that. I'm not going to criticize them. There ain't no reason for me to criticize them. The thing is this content creator does a video of themselves doing a laser flip. Who's going to come to my channel and ask me, oh, can you criticize this YouTuber that does like or skateboarding tricks on YouTube? Why not just watch it and just form your own opinion on whoever this content creator is? Wouldn't that make more sense? So that's why I was like, yeah, with the whole criticism thing, like, I get it. I understand why some people will criticize a content creator, but at the same time, this is the internet. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, I guess in your mind, your criticism can matter, but to the rest of the world, ain't nobody gonna care about it and stuff. So, but anyways, He did talk about that. He pretty much was just copying and pasting a bunch of different stuff that he had said before. I think the only new things that he did talk on was that he lives in Florida with his brother. And and then that was something. Well, actually, no, I think he did say that before. I feel like I did see a tweet where he said something along those lines, where he said that these were his words. And if I remember to, I'll try to post the stream on my main channel as well as my gaming channel. But if I forget, then yeah, it's gonna probably be a while before you guys see it on my gaming channel. But I think he has tweeted it out where he was like, stalking me, that matters more than his own family. And I'm thinking to myself, that's how I know you're not close with your family, because I got to thinking about it, like I always would crack jokes about his family and all that stuff, but I'm like, I know you're not close to it. If you make a comment like that, it's either you're saying that because you're in some delusional mindset where you think something like that is going to have some sort of effect on me, because I guess like why do you need to pass that information along? Why do I need to know of that information? So that's why I'm like, I guess like with this guy, it wasn't really like trying to like get through to him. I guess like more so that yesterday, that conversation, it was more so trying to understand him. But that's the thing, like he's an illiterate, he's dumb, he's stupid, he doesn't, it's one of those things where it's like he's not mentally challenged in a he needs help way. He's mentally challenged where it's like it's like by choice. He chooses to act like this. And that's the thing where I'm like, him being a grown man and carrying on like this, yeah, no, I can't associate with people like that. You know, I don't want to associate with people like that. And I know that he'll try to find any and every reason on why he needs to continue stalking me and all of that. And that's the thing. You know what? Hey, if he wants to waste his time, he very well can do that. Eventually, it is going to get to a point where I feel, and this is what I personally think was going to happen to him. He's going to most likely leave some breadcrumbs, you know, and like meaning that he's going to get a little sloppy with his stalkerish behavior and stuff. I feel like that it's either going to be his brother or somebody that's going to call him out on his behavior. It's going to bring a world of trouble onto him, and he ain't going to have no choice but to stop. He going to have to leave any and everybody alone that he is stalking. Because I would imagine, my thing is this, right? I would imagine that there probably is other people. He comes off as the type where he has multiple accounts. And that's what's, I guess, so freaky about people like that, is that you don't know who they are, I guess, when it comes down to the internet. That's why I'm like, I don't trust a whole lot of people when it comes to the internet. Like, if it's somebody that I go out of my way and find, then I can trust them. But if it's somebody that just randomly shows up to a stream, randomly starts commenting underneath my video, and it's no disrespect, but I guess I've just been through enough stuff as a content creator to know you can't trust everybody. And even, yeah, those that I go out my way to meet, I can't trust everybody, you know? So yeah, that's why I'm like, with this guy, I just think that, you know, he doesn't need to be on the internet, but I can say that, is he going to listen? No. Like, that's the thing with people like him. His mind is already made up. There ain't no changing his mind, convincing him of what he's doing is wrong. I tried that on numerous occasions. What did I succeed? So at the end, yeah, so I guess like at the end of the day, that conversation that we had yesterday, it was pointless. It wasn't no getting through to him, because even when I had brought that up too about him being a pedophile, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, you have the chance and opportunity to clear your name. You can show evidence, you can re-enable accounts, you could do any and everything possible to clear your name, right? Like I feel like when you have an allegation that strong against you, you're gonna try to do any and everything in your power to clear your name. Instead, he wanted me to give out the information of the person that told me that he was a pedophile. Why would I do that? Let's just sit down and think about this real quick, right? Our interactions is of me calling you out on being a stalker. Why would I push that off on somebody else? Why would I have where this person, they want to remain anonymous? Why would I tell you of that information knowing that this person doesn't want to deal with you? And they probably have before. So that's why I'm like, why would I do that to that person? Please answer that question. Or anybody can answer that question. But, and it's one of those things where I'm like, you know, when it's like they just, I guess when they carry on like how he is, like I've said before, there's only two routes for people like that: prison or death. Them the only two routes. Now, if he decides to backtrack, take another route, you know, and wants to change and be a better person, all that stuff, okay, cool, more power to you. But if you continue being the person that you are, them the only two routes that you're gonna have: prison or death, or just an automatic failure. It's like, I don't know. The thing is this: I don't know what he's trying to achieve, I guess, when stalking me and hating on me and stuff like that. But you're not going to achieve it, and I've said that before, where I'm like, the only way I'll quit content creating is because it's my choice, not because, oh, haters done ran me off, stalkers done got to, it's one of those things where I'm like, I will handle a hater, I will handle a stalker before I say the words a hater or a stalker is causing me to quit content creating. So that's why I'm like, if that's what you're trying to achieve, good luck. It's a giant mountain that you're gonna have to climb. And that's the thing about that, where it's like, you don't have no gear, you don't have no equipment, you don't have no way possible of getting me to quit content creating. So how do you think you're going to climb this mountain? That's what I would like to know. I guess, like, if that's what you're trying to achieve. But if it's anything else, I'm like, you're going to fail that too. So yeah, anyways, with that being said, but I did say that before, and just overall saying it again, doubling down on it, because I'm like, there's no reason to have a conversation with this guy. You had the chance and opportunity to prove your innocence. You had the chance and opportunity to explain yourself as a person. You didn't do any of that. So it's like, my question is, I guess, is what reason do I have to conversate with you? None whatsoever. So anyways, there's some dogs barking outside. I'm gonna hurry up and end this episode before I get a little distracted. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. Like, subscribe, viewing this on YouTube. Follow or subscribe, viewing this on the podcast streaming service. And peace.